You are watching Germantown Municipal Television, your source for everything Germantown.
Hello and welcome to Entertaining Germantown. I'm your host, Parke Kennedy, and I'm here to tell you about some really special arts and entertainment events coming up in May. I've got some really fun folks on the show today, starting with Anthony Lee of Martial Arts, followed by Terry DeWitt and David Rawlinson of the Memphis Germantown Art League, and Jim and Janine Carney of the Germantown First Responders Scholarship Fund. With me now is Anthony Lee, artist and manager at Martial Arts and the creator of the amazing new mural around the Germantown Athletic Club track. Anthony, thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me, Park.
This is really, I've been looking forward to talking to you about this mural. I know a lot's gone into it. I'll share a little bit of the background, right? You were commissioned to create this piece. Which was funded by the city's Public Art Fund, which is administered by GPAC, and advised by artist Kat Pena.
Kat Pena, that's right.
And she recommended you. And so then you went to work at night, I think,
right,
to create this wonderful piece. And the space was selected. I think they kind of looked around Germantown and tried to figure out where a public art piece would have an impact, kind of immediate impact, and be seen. And so the space that was selected was the indoor track at the newly remodeled Germantown Athletic Club.
That's right.
So let's talk about you and your background a little bit, and then we can move into the art piece. Okay. You're from West Indies.
Right. My mother is from the Virgin Islands, St. Croix specifically, and my father happens to be from Memphis, Tennessee. You know, so they met in 1977 and then got married and had me 2 years later in 79. So I've had the fortune of living in the islands and living in Memphis. Yeah.
And then you studied here. You went to high school, Central High School?
That's right.
And you had a very famous art professor?
Bill Hicks was a very influential and very successful art teacher who headed up the program over at Central during the 80s and 90s. And under his direction and leadership, about 30 of his students went on to have professional
art
careers based in art. Yeah,
he's like a legend.
Yeah,
right?
He is.
So that's awesome. But then you graduated from high school and you had an opportunity to go to art school and you turned it down.
Right.
What'd you do?
Right. Well, I was 17 when I graduated from high school, but I actually was put up earlier in grade school, and I graduated a year early, you know. Okay. And I just didn't like the hassle of school, so even though I had an art scholarship to go to the University of Memphis, you know, I didn't want any more school for a while, you know. And at 17, it was hard trying to enter the job market and do the right thing. And on a hunch, I just joined the Army. You know, nobody told me to go. I wasn't prepared for it. Nobody gave me any advice, you know, towards it. And I was 17, went down on 3rd Street and heard their pitch and took the paperwork to my dad, and he signed me up, and then I was gone.
Signed up.
Yeah.
So you took the long road to becoming a full-time professional artist.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Park? It wasn't that long because the first 10 weeks in service, once those drill sergeants found out that I knew how to paint, and this was basic training, so this is the very first portion, all right? And once they found out that I knew how to paint, they had me painting up all kind of patches and insignia all over the barracks, you know.
So you kept your skills,
yes,
you know.
It was a great release.
You stayed tuned up.
Right. So throughout my whole 4-year period, you know, those commanders put me to work painting murals all over the barracks and painting their doors and making them look like superhero soldiers with the head of dogs and all this stuff, you know. So it was definitely fun. But yeah, I was able to keep my skills sharp during that period.
And so now you're here, you're at martial arts, you get a call from Kat saying, hey, we've got this indoor track we want you to do something with, and you go, what?
Well, let's meet and let me see the space, you know, because as a public artist, I have to react to the site specifically, you know, and every site has its own characteristics, its own needs, you know, and as the artist, I have to be sensitive enough to read the cues to know what the work needs to do and how it functions within the space and everything around it. So when I met with Kat to go and look at this indoor walking facility, you know, the first thing I noticed was a woman using the actual track, you know, and I wanted to get into her head about what is it that I would want to see, you know, walking this track over and over again, you know, for 2 miles, which is about 16 laps, you know. So I wanted to create something that wasn't monotonous and that could carry the walker throughout the whole loop and it feel joyous, you know. So knowing about color therapy and knowing the mood that color can affect, you know, I decided to do basically a large-scale color gradation mural throughout the whole thing.
Right, and we've got some images here that we'll be showing the viewer. So talk about these colors then.
Okay, so when you first enter the track, you know, you have the doors, you have all the equipment, you know, so there's not a clean sight line. The sight line is on the other end of the facility, right? So as you first go in, it starts off in the cool range of the color spectrum, purples, violets, and blues, right? And then as you progress down the track, it starts to gradiate towards red, and then magenta, and then red-orange, and then yellow. And
it's me like getting warmed up. I'm
right,
going,
exactly
I'm walking
right.
now.
Right. So it warms you up, and it crests at about a yellow-orange, you know, like a real bright sunlit color, right? And as you hit the apex of the other wall, you know, it brings you back down, you know, and that's kind of like what a gym is for, you know. It's a repetition, it's an extension and then a retraction, you know. So I wanted to try to simulate that same effect with, you know, color. So you go up and you extend fully, and you're at the brightest color of that range, and you come back down and you go over again, you know. So it's like a breathing, like a pulse.
So tell me about the use of the color pink, though. I know there's a cool little deal about that.
Okay, so the color pink is known, and I don't know if it's scientifically proven, but it's definitely out there. The color pink suppresses the appetite, right? When you think of the color pink and how it could suppress your appetite, you think of like raw flesh. You know, if somebody brought you know, patty, you don't want a pink patty, right? You want it brown.
Right.
So such is true with interior design and the color pink for restaurants. You know, they just stay away from pink because because you want to stimulate the appetite when you're in that kind of setting. You know, and when I was trying to think, well, what restaurant or what eatery would use pink? Baskin & Robbins comes to mind, and they don't use pink. You know, it's all really you know, blues and very cool, you know, because they don't want to suppress your appetite, you know.
Fantastic. Right. Well, it's a must-see mural. So if you haven't seen it already, get out there and go for a walk around the track at the Germantown Athletic Club. It's a wonderful vision, and thank you so much for being here.
No problem.
It's time for a short break. When we come back, I'll be talking to Terry DeWitt and David Rawlinson of the Memphis Germantown Art League.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be tornado next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
You are watching Germantown Municipal Television, your source for everything Germantown.
Welcome back to Entertaining Germantown. Joining me now is Terry DeWitt, President, and David Rawlinson, Vice President of the Memphis Germantown Art League. Welcome. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
So you guys are here representing the Memphis Germantown Art League,
Yes.
which was founded in 1977. That's about 76. So you've been around a long time. What's the purpose of the organization?
Well, basically, it was to provide a vehicle for artists to improve their professional talents and develop more talents. And they do that. We do that by having exhibitions. We bring in demonstrators, and we also have discussions from other, from outside people too.
So is it a membership organization?
Yes, it is. We have 150 members.
150
at this point.
members, and they're all artists from Memphis, Germantown?
They're actually from Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, just all around.
Yes.
Really? So you're a regional organization?
Yes.
Yes.
That's fantastic. So you have, you said some seminars, some discussions.
Right. Workshops. Bring artists in, known artists to give it, like a 3-day workshop. We just had one this spring. That was wonderful. Yeah.
Wonderful. So people sign up.
Yeah.
And do you have a website or a?
Yes, we do.
You do, and that's where you would find out what's coming up.
That's correct. Yes.
And so I do know of one thing that's coming up. On beginning May 17th and running through June 25th, you're going to have an art exhibition hanging at GPAC. And it's the 41st annual juried exhibition of the Memphis Germantown Art League.
That's correct. That's correct.
How does that work? How do you wind up being a person who's a part of that show?
Well, basically, we have it's a juried show, so we have an entry date, and then we bring our paintings in like 2 or 3 days ahead of time, hang the show, and then the juror comes through, makes his decisions about the show. We also make award decisions at that time too.
So that all happens when the show's hanging?
Yes. And then we have the reception like a day or two later, and then that usually lasts for about a month.
So is that when the winners are announced?
Yes,
so that people who can are viewing the exhibition know who the winners are.
That's
and
correct.
that reception is June 10th. From 4 to 5:30 at GPAC.
Right.
Yes.
And it's free.
It's
open
free.
to anyone. Yes.
Okay,
Right.
wonderful.
Yeah.
So the juried part, well, first of all, the artists, they're submitting from all over the region?
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, and there's a form or some process they fill
Occasionally,
out?
we do have a national show occasionally. And at that, it's entries are from all over the United States.
All over the United States.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. You must see quite a variety. How many pieces ultimately get selected to hang in the exhibition?
Well, this particular show we'll have maybe 70 pieces submitted, and we may pick anywhere from 40 to 50, 60 pieces.
Ranging in size
Yes.
and
And
watercolor
medium.
and medium,
Yeah.
right? Pencil.
Right.
Yes. Sculpture.
Fabric too.
Fabrics. Yes.
Everything.
Yes.
Wow. It sounds amazing. I think I did see the show last year, and I was really impressed by the quality of the pieces.
Some really, really good artists.
Really good artists.
Yeah.
Pieces are for sale.
Yes.
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 Quite a range of price points
Yes,
as
it
well.
is.
That's right.
Which is really fun for collectors.
Right.
Do you have a lot of people who enter every year?
Oh, yes. Yes, we do.
You do. So
In
they
fact,
kind
we
of-
have people who enter every show.
Every show.
Because we have 4 to 5 shows a year.
And well, it's a great way for them to show their work.
Sure.
Yes, and that was one of the reasons to have to establish the organization, was to have this continued show ability for everybody.
Opportunities for
Yes.
people to make work, show their work, get some feedback
Exactly.
from
Yes.
a jury of their peers,
Right,
right? So
exactly.
who actually is the judge? Is that a secret?
It changes.
It changes.
For each
Yes.
show, yes.
Is
Yes.
it one judge?
Usually.
Usually one
Yeah.
judge.
Yeah.
Are there different categories?
No, not really. We don't do that. We don't make
It's
that
not
distinction.
like still life or
No. It's
No.
just a wide
landscape
range.
or
Right.
And when you come to the show, you'll see that. Remember, here's all different types of venues, subject matter.
matter. Yeah.
I think that's what's
remember
really
that.
neat about it.
That's- yeah.
It's a wide range of art.
Right, completely different. Some pieces are
Exactly.
framed, some pieces aren't.
Well,
Some
most of
pieces
them are framed, but as Terry said, there's some fiber pieces, or there is maybe sculpture. So, it's a wide range.
So if I win, what do I get?
Depends on what category, like best of show, second, third. And then we have other categories that are like best of texture and stuff, such as, is that
color.
correct, Terry? Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so there
Yeah,
are
color- use of
different,
color.
yeah. So,
Right.
but the real be all end all is best of show, right?
Best show is usually
Right.
$500,
Best of
isn't it,
show
Terry?
Yeah.
is what it is.
$500.
Oh, and there is a cash reward.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, that's
Yes.
wonderful. So you're helping support
Absolutely.
artists
And
to
on occasions,
pay
on
for
some of,
materials.
I'm sorry, I
That's all
parked
right.
over you, but
Yeah.
we do use local sponsors. We have local sponsors, and so they provide, in some cases, prizes also.
Okay, so best of show.
Second place.
Second place.
Third place. And then you've got
Use of color,
texture.
texture, that type
I
of
can't
thing.
remember some of the other categories.
So real specific,
Yeah.
yeah. So how long does it take the judge to make a decision? Do they go back and forth, or they just do one pass through and that's it?
They do it, we hang the show in the morning, and they do it that morning.
What?
And they may have 100 and some pieces,
That's
anywhere
a
from.
big responsibility,
is.
right?
It
I mean,
is.
a lot of artists are
Yes.
really, you're putting your soul into your work,
Yes.
and that feedback is so important. You want it to be positive. You want to win best in show.
Sure, absolutely.
You want people to get what you're doing, and yet it all has to happen pretty quickly.
Right.
So
Right.
so
But-
what are your criteria for judges? Can I be a judge?
I don't know what the criteria is.
Generally, we've had artists, well-known artists.
be a judge.
We've had educators, art teachers, and that kind of
Wow.
thing.
All right. Well, I'm going to work on getting to be a judge, because I'm not going to win Best in Show. So thank you all so much for being
Thank
here.
you for having
Thank
us.
you
We
for
really
having us.
appreciate it. It sounds like a great organization. I can't wait to see the show.
And we
Great.
invite the
So,
public to come to the show.
May 17th through June 25th,
Mm-hmm.
and the reception is June 10th. It's time for another short break. When we come back, I'm going to chat with Jim and Janine Carney about an event they are putting together to benefit the Germantown First Responders Scholarship Fund.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
Thank you. Did you see anyone's broccoli? Thanks for helping us. No problem. Is this strawberry? You're welcome.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
You are watching Germantown Municipal Television, your source for everything Germantown.
Welcome back to Entertaining Germantown. I'm delighted to have with me Jim Carney, president of the Germantown First Responder Scholarship Fund, and his wife Janine, who is also a member and a retired school teacher. Thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Really appreciate you coming. So you guys have started the Germantown First Responder Scholarship Fund. And you have a big event coming up, which is your first really big fundraising event for this fund. We'll talk about the event in a minute, but first let's talk about the fund itself and what's behind it. Why did you create this scholarship fund?
Well, I think Jim ought to start off with that.
Well, I know a lot of law enforcement people throughout this area, and I knew one of the officers in Germantown. I knew him when he was with Memphis, but I lost track of him, and then I was at one of the local places in business in Germantown, and there he was, in uniform. I said, "Wow, how are you doing?" And he says, "I'm doing great." I said, "I thought you retired out of Memphis." He said, "Well, I got 2 children in school." I said, that put the seed in my brain to do something to help them. So I took off from there, and I brought in and talked to my wife and Janine, and she, "That's a great idea." I talked to Deputy Chief Bright, and he said they did something similar in Franklin. But in Franklin, just a bunch of children, which is a great thing, and they collected money. But we're going to raise the ante a little bit, and we're going to have a concert at GPAC, thanks to Mr. Paul Chandler. And the band we're having is from St. Louis. They tour all over, and it's a tribute band for the Eagles and Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Well, that'll be
but
very
anyway,
popular, yeah.
We got the blessings of all the city administration, Patrick Lawton, the mayor, and we're good to go. But anyway, it's time we gave back to our community.
So giving back to the first responders, so all of the different variety of first responders, and it's Germantown First Responders. It's a scholarship fund, so the money goes to fund, would it be college scholarships, or would it be?
It can be college
anything
scholarships.
Anybody needs.
It could be a trade school. We want to keep it simple, and we want to aid our first responders in having their children go to school, whether it's junior college, regular college, trade, all of the above.
Wonderful.
And I think when we opened it up and added, Jim was first thinking, police, and then we added the fire department. It was because these people are the ones, when we're in our darkest hour of need, they're the ones that we turn to. And they come through for us every single time.
And they come whether it's a holiday, or whether it's raining, or whether it's snowing, or whether they have something personal going on. They come out there and they consistently do their best. Germantown has some of the finest first responders in the country, really. And so this is a lovely idea and a really great way to sort of take some of the pressure off. We all know what it's like to be parents and worry about education, and you want your child to be able to pursue their wildest dreams, and yet affordability is in question. So all right. So this first benefit concert is Saturday, June 16th at 7 p.m. And like you said, it's at GPAC.
At GPAC.
Right, and so the funds that you raise go straight into the scholarship fund.
That is correct.
Yes.
I might add that we are now a full-fledged 501c3 nonprofit.
Yes. Congratulations.
We've got a full status from the IRS and the state of Tennessee.
That's great.
Yes, we were very happy to get that.
Yeah, so that will help a lot, help you kind of make sure that the dollars go where they're intended.
Exactly.
That is very true.
Exactly.
So,
We will in the very near future have a website, and our hope is to make this an annual event. I'm already thinking ahead for 19.
Good. That's what you need to do. Yeah,
Very
for
true.
sure. And so the band is this Farrell Weber band. This is the one you're referring to as the tribute to the Eagles and Creedence Clearwater Revival. Isn't there a story about someone who's performing in the band or with the band?
Well, Lydia Waldrop is going to start the night off.
Okay.
And Lydia is a sophomore here at Houston High School.
Oh, fantastic.
And yes, she won the Delta Fair vocal competition. and she is currently recording in Nashville. She's released her first CD, and in her spare time, she has designed a line of jewelry. So I don't know what you were doing when you were a sophomore in high school, but she puts me to shame. And then the first band that will start off that night is the School of Rock, and it's the School of Rock here in Germantown. And Ken Hall is the director of that, and if you have never seen them perform, they will get you up and excited and moving. They're fantastic.
They are, and they sure will.
High school students, so we're real thrilled with them. And then the police officers kind of wanted to rock out GPAC, and so that's why Jim found the Farrell Weber Band, and they're coming in to do the CCR and the Eagles.
So you'll be on the main stage at GPAC, which is a phenomenal space to have a concert. I'm only a little bit partial, but
That's okay.
864 seats, so you got plenty of room for everybody who wants to buy a $30 ticket, which seems like a very, very reasonable price, and to come into the practically nearly acoustically perfect as you can be performance space to have that really, really special experience, both intimate and like you said, rocking at the same time.
We're going to rock out.
So you're going to rock out. That's wonderful. So to buy tickets, you go to
the Germantown Performing Arts Center website.
Okay.
And you can buy the tickets there. And when we get our website up, we will have it all set. So if you want to make a donation, you can do such on the website.
Oh, very nice.
That would be great and greatly appreciated. But for right now, we're making the big push to selling all those seats.
Come to the concert,
Come to the
$30
concert.
a piece, Saturday, June 16th, 7 p.m. You get to hear not one or two, but three amazing musical acts, and so a couple of hours worth of showtime, or
oh yes, several hours.
Several hours of rocking it.
And
at
I'm going to
GPAC.
give one shout out to the Houston High School TV station who is doing a video for us that will actually open the night. So a big thank you to Ryan Sweeney.
Fantastic.
And yes, we're very pleased.
They do a great job.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being on the show and for coming out this afternoon to tell us about this amazing scholarship fund. Bless you all for doing this. I think it's a great cause, and I wish you tons of success with your 501c3.
Thank you, Park.
It's time to wrap up this episode. I'd like to thank my guests for being here and you, the viewer, for joining us on Entertaining Germantown. If you'd like to watch this or other shows on Germantown Municipal Television, please visit www.gmtvonline.org. I hope you'll join us when Entertaining Germantown returns next month.